Hello, dear students. Welcome back to our news channel. Students, today we have two very important news articles to discuss. One about the powerful earthquake in Myanmar, and another about India's upcoming extreme heat waves. Okay, so these topics are crucial because they impact people's lives in very real ways. Whether it's the ground shaking beneath our feet or the scorching sun above us, both natural disasters and climate change have long term effects. So sit back and join me as we explore these news in detail. Now, let's start with the Myanmar earthquake. Imagine you are asleep at midnight and suddenly the ground starts shaking violently. You hear walls cracking, objects falling, and people screaming. That's exactly what happened in Myanmar on March 25. A powerful earthquake of magnitude 7.4 struck central Myanmar, about 20 kilometers from Mandalay, which is the second largest city in the country. This wasn't just one single shock, there were multiple aftershocks, including a magnitude 6.4 6.4 tremor just 11 minutes later. Okay, so to understand why this happened, we need to talk about earthquake faults. Earthquake faults. Students, Myanmar sits on a major fault line called Sagaing Fault. Okay, it sits on a major fault. Fault का मतलब क्या होता है, जैसे हिंदी में जिसको आप कह सकते हो क्रैक, दरार. Okay, so Myanmar sits on this major fault line and it's called Sagaing Fault. And this fault is a sort of strike slip, meaning that two giant pieces of Earth's crust, two, two giant pieces of Earth crust, they slide past each other. Okay, they slide past each other. ओके, तो एक दूसरे के साइड में स्लाइड पास्ट होता है. ऑल राइट. और सिंपली व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट सेगेंग फॉल्ट के बारे में बात अगर हम करें, तो जैसे ये है, एक एक प्लेट है, एक अर्थ की प्लेट है और ये दूसरी अर्थ की प्लेट है. सो दे आर स्लाइडिंग पास्ट ईच अदर हॉरिजॉन्टली, है ना. एक इस तरफ मूव कर रही है, दूसरी इस तरफ मूव कर रही है. अगर एक लेफ्ट की तरफ मूव कर रही है, दूसरी राइट की तरफ मूव कर रही है. सो दे आर स्लाइडिंग पास्ट ईच अदर हॉरिजॉन्टली. Over time, what happens? The pressure builds up, and when it is released, it causes earthquake. Okay, so over time ये प्रेशर बनता रहता है और जैसे ही जब प्रेशर रिलीज होता है, it causes major earthquake. So this earthquake was devastating. Reason being, thousands of people lost their lives and entire buildings collapsed. In Mandalay, homes, pagodas, and bridges were either severely damaged or completely destroyed. But the effects weren't just limited to Myanmar. Neighboring Thailand also felt the tremors, especially in its capital, Bangkok, which is in fact 1300 kilometers away from the epicenter. So, a 33-story building collapsed due to weak construction. Okay, and did you know water in swimming pools on top of skyscrapers was seen moving in waves due to earthquakes, shock waves? I think you might have seen that video. It is circulating all over the internet. Okay, but interestingly, eastern India, which is closer to Myanmar, didn't face much damage. Why? Scientists believe that the geological structure of the land helped absorb the shock. Okay, अब देखो थाईलैंड को भी अफेक्ट किया है, लेकिन म्यांमार के साथ में ईस्टर्न इंडिया भी तो है, उसको क्यों नहीं अफेक्ट हुआ? रीजन भी geological structure of the land. Okay. Now, students, question is, why is Southeast Asia prone to earthquake? Why does this region experience so many earthquakes? Well, Southeast Asia, when we talk about Southeast Asia, so it is important, first of all, for you to have an atlas in front of you and just look at the Southeast Asia region. So, this Southeast Asia is located near the boundary of two giant tectonic plates. Tectonic plates क्या है, हमने पहले भी बहुत सारी बार पॉडकास्ट में कवर किया है. These are giant earth crust. Okay, so earth crust is divided into tectonic plates. एक सिंगल प्लेट नहीं है, ठीक है, एक क्रस्ट है, रॉक्स है, जो इट इज फ्लोटिंग ओवर मैग्मा. Okay, so Southeast Asia is located near the boundary of two giant tectonic plates, the Indian plate and Eurasian plate. And when these plates move, they build up stress over time. So Myanmar, India, Nepal, and even China are all part of this earthquake prone zone. And some of the biggest earthquakes in history have occurred here. है ना, बहुत सारे earthquake आए हैं. सबसे ज्यादा जो आपने आपके पेरेंट्स से, you can ask your parents about 2004 Sumatra Andaman earthquake. It was quite devastating for India. You just ask your parents regarding 2004 Sumatra Andaman earthquake. It has a magnitude of 9.1, which is quite high. And then 2015 Nepal earthquake, magnitude 7.8. 1950 Assam Tibet earthquake, magnitude 8.6. So these earthquakes are extremely dangerous because they not only shake the ground, but it can also cause tsunamis and landslide. ओके, सो अर्थक्वेक से क्या होता है कि सिर्फ ग्राउंड ही को ही नहीं नुकसान पहुंचता है, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ जो और भी कैलामिटीज आ सकती है. जैसे सुमात्रा अंडमान अर्थक्वेक की वजह से क्या आया था, सुनामी, 2004 सुनामी, राइट. एंड देन landslides could also occur. Okay, so that is why earthquakes are, what you can say, they are very devastating. High magnitude earthquake are very devastating. Now that we understand the science behind earthquake, let's move on to the another natural disaster that's affecting millions of people. Heat waves in India. Okay, heat waves in India. Students, what happened? That what scientists are saying, that we need to brace ourselves because this summer is going to be one of the hottest India has ever seen. So, India Meteorological Department, okay, India Meteorological Department has predicted, India Meteorological Department has predicted that from April to June, India will experience above normal heat waves, above normal heat waves in almost every state except for Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, and Northeast. Okay, now you might have heard about heat wave last year, right? So, what is a heat wave? Students, a heat wave happens when temperature when temperatures stay extremely high for several days in a row. And this is dangerous because it can cause heat stroke, dehydration, crop failures, power shortages. है ना, तो बहुत सारी चीजें हो सकती हैं. And last year only, Rajasthan experienced 23 to 29 heat wave days, which is more than double the normal behavior. Okay, normal number से डबल एकदम 23-29 heat wave days ही आए थे. Okay, so question is, why are heat waves increasing? Students, the number of heat wave days in India has been rising rapidly. है ना, हम हर ईयर तो every year we hear this. In 2010, India recorded 578 heat wave, and in 2023, the number was even higher. Talking about the worst affected states, of course, they are Rajasthan. राजस्थान तो होगा ही, साथ में उड़ीसा, तेलंगाना, आंध्र प्रदेश, छत्तीसगढ़. Okay, so these are the states which are worst affected. Now, students, heat waves don't just make you feel uncomfortable, they have serious consequences. First is health problems. The elderly, young children, rivers and lakes dry up. So this lead to what? Drinking water crisis. And there's due to extreme temperatures. Okay, so these are some of the impacts. Now there's a fun fact also mentioned that Indian government has started placing large white sheets on rooftops in some cities to reflect sunlight and reduce indoor temperatures. Okay, why? How it will reduce indoor temperature? Yes, you're gonna tell me on the comments below that why, if we are placing large white sheets on rooftops and to reflect sunlight, how it's gonna reduce indoor temperature of the building. Okay, just let me know on the comments below. Now students, you might be thinking, what can we do about these disasters? Can we prevent earthquake and heat waves? The answer is no. Earthquake को हम कैसे prevent कर सकते हैं, है ना? But we can prepare better. First is for earthquake safety tips, stay away from windows and heavy objects. अगर कभी ऐसा कुछ आता भी है earthquake, तो windows और heavy objects से दूर रहना है. Drop, cover and hold under a sturdy table. If you're outside, move to an open area away from buildings. So these are some of the earthquake tips. I'm sure your school is also teaching you this. है ना? And then heat wave safety tips. Heat waves में हम कैसे कर सकते हैं handle? Drink lots of water. Even if you're not thirsty. Stay hydrated. Wear light colored loose clothes. And if you're wearing cotton, then that's even better. Avoid going out in the afternoon when temperature are the highest. भरी दोपहरी में जब हीट वेव चल रहा है तो नहीं जाना है. And eating hydrating foods like watermelons, cucumbers also help. Okay, so governments are also taking action. In fact, many states have created heat action plans, which include measures like setting up cooling centers, changing school and office hours, distributing ORS and water in affected areas. Okay, however, studies show that many of these plans, if it is not implemented properly, then people will suffer. Okay, so students, today we have covered a lot of news article from the deadly Myanmar earthquake to the rising heat wave crisis in India. Students, natural disasters are part of life, but if we stay informed and prepared, we can reduce their impact. Okay, remember, knowledge is power. If you like today's episode, don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Stay safe, stay cool, and see you next time.